So it looks like the media is attempting to get us into a war with Venezuela. The media, of course, serves the military industrial complex. And one of the narratives we see coming out of the media, or at least one of the narratives that I heard, was that if the United States of America doesn't intervene in Venezuela, it will create a refugee crisis, and all of these Venezuelan refugees will come to the United States southern border. Well, first things first, since when has the media cared if there would be a refugee crisis? And what about the media's behavior would make you believe that they would want to warn us of this incoming crisis? They're doing everything they can to prevent Donald Trump from declaring a national emergency, saying there's no emergency at the southern border, while on the other hand, they're saying, well, we better do something about Venezuela or there might be a refugee crisis. This is war propaganda, and I'd imagine the reason this narrative is taking hold is a response to what we saw during the 2016 presidential election and what we learned about the American populace. Because at the time, whether he meant it or not, Trump had campaigned on, he had basically made an argument that America had been fooled. The American people had been fooled in supporting all of the wars in the Middle East, which of course is true. We saw the war propaganda around weapons of mass destruction in Iraq and everything that followed. Then it's the same strategy the media uses time and time again, right? They want us to overthrow Bashar al-Assad in Syria. What do? The media shows images of children that have been gassed and reports that Assad did it, even though the evidence suggests, the motive suggests it's highly unlikely Assad did. And then even if there are human rights atrocities taking place, there are human rights atrocities taking place all over the world. But the children that I'm worried about, the children that I think we should all be worried about, are American children. Because due to these wars, and war is disgusting, 22 veterans commit suicide every day. 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 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 veterans commit suicide every day. And I'm concerned that their children are growing up without mothers, without fathers. What about all of the American soldiers that died in Iraq, that were left amputated, permanently disabled in Iraq, in Afghanistan, in Libya, in Syria, in Yemen? Don't allow the media to propagandize you into another war. But the media saw that Trump ran on a platform that we were goaded into these wars, and that the true purpose of our military and what it should be doing is defending the American borders. And of course, since then, we've seen the fight over the southern border, and that's what's important to the populace. So, using psychological tactics, they say, okay, the populace is worried about the southern border. Let's tell them that if we don't intervene in Venezuela, then there will be a refugee crisis at the southern border. Well, we know from what happened in Libya and Syria, it's actually American military intervention that causes a quote-unquote refugee crisis, according to the media's official narrative, because after the United States military, after Libya fell, due to United States support, the floodgates from Africa were opened. And then we were told there was this great refugee crisis, and Western countries all over the world had to let refugees in from Africa, from Libya, from Syria, because it was just the humane thing to do. Well, the same thing will happen here. If the American military intervenes in Venezuela, make no mistake, the narrative that follows over the next few years will be this horrible refugee crisis created by the destabilization of the region, and we have a moral obligation to take these people in. How can you not? Look at the children. They'll show children starving. They'll show children dying, children in war zones, dead bodies of women. They'll show all of these things, and they'll tell you that you're inhumane if you don't support taking in all of these Venezuelans who will come to America and vote for socialism. Stop being fooled and say no to war. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22.